Rocky first.
Hi, good to have you here.
Thanks, buddy. Good to see you. Sorry about the last game. We got cut a little bit shorter on the interview. Can you go over the injuries right now with Jimmy and Santi, how they're doing?
Yeah, so Santi is fine. Jimmy is not, so he will not be part of the game this weekend. We're still finalizing a little bit everything, but it's something that probably will take weeks for him to come back. Seba did this morning individual training. It looks like he will be part of the training tomorrow, so he probably will be available as well this weekend. Pablo Bonilla is not ready yet to start. He's feeling very good. He's progressing well, and he's not there to be available. And Emora had his first team training yesterday, which was exciting to see. So a lot of good things. I think that's it for now. Thank God. I mean,
does that make Mora ahead of schedule, possibly?
The fact that he trained with the first team together with us, that doesn't mean yet that he's ready. That's one step forward. So that was the first training. Now we have to look into when he's going to train again, and just build up, everything for him. I don't think yet that it's going to be something of, 2 weeks or 3 weeks. I think it's still a little more, but I think during those 2-3 weeks he's going to stay, a little bit more constant in our trainings, and then we'll know exactly when he's going to be ready.
And then so we got a big derby game coming up Saturday. How do you keep in check that maybe Seattle's a little desperate and has lost 3 games recently?
This is a very difficult game. Besides, and I always have said that this rivalry makes players, or motivates players in a different level. They definitely can feel, because the coaching staff, talks to them. I speak to them. They see that our fans, how much they care, and how big the game is. And historically, those guys that have been here for a while, also they share and they talk, and it elevates everything this week to the expectations and what we're gonna facing a rival. But this game, particularly at this particular time, as you said, I think comes in a different way. And I know that they're gonna be the most prepared they ever going to be, or they have ever been. I know that we need to be our top. We need to be ready. We need to be with the understanding that this is going to be probably the most difficult game against Seattle that we have had there so far. And as long as we understand that, and we respect in every form the understanding that, that we're going to have to put a lot of fight into it, and a lot of effort, then I think, for what I've seen so far this week, I think it's going to be a good match. We're coming from a game from Kansas City that no one is happy. No one is in a good place. Everybody's just, has the same feeling of frustration because we let, a game in the second half go, and we didn't look good in the second half. We gave everything away. So the guys understand that, and now, they need to put that effort into the field.
And then last question is, so I feel like maybe the fans are glass half full and or half empty, and maybe the athletes tend to be more glass half full. And the MLS is a little bit fickle too, with helping out and losing points and other teams dropping points. Still a lot to play for this season. What kind of energy does the boys have right now?
No, but listen, we have to understand why the fans are upset, or are struggling, or are emotional. It is normal. It is normal for them to feel that way. We haven't performed constantly in the level that we should. We have shown some good moments. We have felt that we were on a good path to improve now that we have players back. But then a game like Seattle against Sporting Kansas City in the second half, throws everything down that we were building. So definitely, there's that feeling that we have to be better. When you look at the points, we don't have enough points at this particular time. It's not where we want it to be. So it's normal for fans to feel that way. And I think the important part is just that even though they feel that way, that the love for the organization, the love for the team, for the players, that they can still support, because we need them. We need the fans to continue to push, because they're the drive. Many times for us to always do better. But internally, and when I mention moments in which the mentality is good, yes, it is good, because in other places, if we were at the moment where we are, then you have all the problems. We don't have those problems. We have the problems of we need to be better, we need to have more urgency sometimes, we need to push more. We're not satisfied in some of the things that we have done playing wise with the ball, and allowing some goals and giving away the points in games that we had in control. So it's not good. It's not good enough. But the mentality, the guys are there, and now it's about just pushing the mentality to urgency to make sure that we get the points that we need, and hopefully we get in a path that we start making a lot of points to start catching up. We're still there. We're still in the competition. But every game that we don't win, things get a little bit more complicated.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck, and see you Saturday.
Thank you.
Sam, go ahead.
Hi, Coach. Thanks for taking the time for chatting. Talking on the field, you said that everyone in the team knows that it needs to be better, still holding to those expectations. What are those big things that you're seeing that the team needs to improve to find that consistency, to turn, like you said, those flashes into more consistent performances? Like, where are the biggest areas that you're seeing that need to improve on the field?
Yeah, I think if we look at Kansas City in particular, and it has happened maybe in some other games at times when we look to fall into a deeper block in moments. Sometimes you need to know that during matches, you're going to suffer some moments. You're going to have periods of times in which the opposition is going to push you to the courts and you need to defend. I mean, we saw games yesterday. We saw Seattle's game against San Jose, and in some moments we saw that Seattle pushed all the way the other team, to defend deeper. And sometimes it's not that it's your plan, but sometimes you have to make sure that you manage those moments with sacrificing and being good defensively and pushing. For us, sometimes there's little details that can help, that can help us not to drop as deep in those moments, and still being a little bit more aggressive in our pressure, going a little bit higher. And then with the ball, I think for me that's one area that we need to improve. We need to get better, is to keep the ball more, to move the ball around in a much better way. We in some games have done a good job to getting behind teams and be a little bit more aggressive. And finding better spaces, but sometimes we have lacked in some moments that mobility, and it could be sometimes in those moments that you defend so much that then it becomes more difficult to be able to keep the ball. I just think that the team still in a mentality in which they feel competitive. Do we have to push our players? Do they have to push themselves more? Yes, we do. Because that I think is a little bit that extra that we need in order to make sure that we do things better. But at the end, I have seen many good things. When we go over the details with the players, we have seen a lot of things in going forward. In the back, of course, that giving goals away in the numbers that we have conceded, it bring a concern, because we need to be better. We shouldn't be giving away goals the way we have in some of the games. But I think it has to do more sometimes with situations like we saw in the second half against Kansas City, in which after a good first half, we come into the second half, we're doing some good things. We allow one goal to come in, and then from kickoff we allow the third. And then at the end, I will take responsibility on the fourth goal But we fall a little bit into that mode that we allow goals to come in, and that has to be better. So we keep on working. We keep on working. I think we have, as I said again, and many times, the group in a good place, but also we feel that the need of improving and especially getting 3-point more constant in these games coming up.
Thanks. I appreciate that response. Just a quick follow-up on Seattle specifically. Since the last time you played the Sounders, they've kind of had their own kind of ups and downs and, kind of their own, I think, rough stretch they're kind of going through. Despite that, what are those things that, in analyzing tape and looking at their team, what are those things that you're still seeing that they're doing well? The things that maybe you're preparing for specifically, or looking at for trying to be prepared for Saturday?
I mean, Seattle is always competitive. Seattle is always going to put the work on the field. We'll see now when we get there. We have prepared for every scenario, but we know for sure that one of the things that always is the case when we go there is that they're going to put a fight, they're going to work hard, they're going to push as much as they can. Last game that we played there, they ended up playing with 10 men, I think almost the entire second half, and they still were pushing to get a result. And that's why I think, and that's why I'm content so far that our players always have understood how difficult it is to play against Seattle, how difficult it is to play there. And we always go with, the preparation, the proper preparation for them to be able to put a good fight. And in this game, we have done the same. We are pushing the guys to understand. Those that haven't traveled there yet, that are with us, we have painted a very good picture for them to understand how the game is going to be there, how difficult it is to play there, and in this rivalry, doesn't play for history, for the sort of results that have come in the past. Is always by what we are able to execute at that particular day, because every game has been very difficult and different.
All right, looks like we'll wrap it there. Thank you, Gio.
Thank you.